I'm Gianmarco Soresi, and this is my last meal.
Every person has exactly two things in common. We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. Today's guest is an actor, comedian, and podcast host who sold out theaters all across the globe, and he's coming to a town near you. You can catch his 60-minute comedy special out on his YouTube page, but of course you know him from his work in the teeth whitening infomercial space. Gianmarco Soresi, welcome to the show.
Hello. One of my first TV credits. Paid in teeth whitener, and I didn't use the product, so it was a lie. Full lie.
Wow.
It was like a 10-year contract, and I never heard about it. And then during COVID or post-COVID, everyone was getting their teeth looking good because they had been, scurried away for so long. And then it was everywhere. It was on CBS, and so I looked. I was like, please, can I renew this contract, get some money, or some more teeth whitening products, frankly. And couldn't get it.
Well, we got some teeth whitening products for you today. We got the Power Swabs whitening
Wow.
stick. We couldn't afford your full day rate of the 2-month plan, and so we figured we'd at least send you home with this.
This is worth 3 years back in the day. Thank you so much.
Anytime, man. Have you thought about your last meal before?
Never with this complexity. I always thought of it like one dish, not 7.
Yeah.
And it was always McDonald's in my head. It wasn't like fancy. It was pure nostalgia based. That's my treat.
How often do you think about death in general?
A lot, a ton. I had terrible death anxiety growing up.
You're one of those kids.
I think it was first, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't know if we're similar age. You know that show? No. That wasn't a question.
Of course.
What a great title. Are You Afraid of the Dark was like a show. There was an episode where some guy, he plays a pinball machine he's not supposed to. He goes in the pinball machine, he beats the whole thing, but then he starts at the beginning. And it's just the moment of like eternity.
It's so funny.
Infinite. I went to my parents' room all the time. Dad's house, he's a bachelor, I sleep in the bed. Mom's house, stepdad was not gonna let me sleep in the bed, so I'd sleep on the side of the bed. I think I definitely interrupted the one time they were gonna have sex that year. And I didn't know, but I remembered the look on his face, and then when I later learned about sex, I was like, oh, wow. I ruined his year. In college, it feels kind of classic, just a real, like, what happens when you die? And I would look for, like, scientists or philosophers, because I was skeptical.
Of course,
I was a skeptical person. And I looked into, like, ESP and all the, I think that's why I'm so anti all this stuff now, because remote viewing, you know that? There's a lot of successful people.
Sure.
But we found someone who claimed they did remote viewing, and they were like, put an object on top of your microwave, and I'm going to send drawings. And I put a recorder, for like a flute, and I don't know why I had it. And he sent back a rectangle, a circle, a triangle, and he was like, any of those resonate? And I'm like, man, there's nothing. So I just chilled naturally. Yeah. I don't know what changed. But yeah, college, I should have seen a therapist. I should have seen a therapist right away.
There's no answer. There's no answer to any of this. You know what there is, though? There's ravioli. Great segue. You ready to eat?
So ready to eat.
Gianmarco, for the first course of your final meal on Earth, we have the Buitoni beef ravioli with not only Buitoni sauce, but this is the special recipe Soresi sauce with extra butter and sugar, and then one secret ingredient that does not exist, and then an ice-cold Yoo-hoo and some Godiva chocolates.
Wait, okay, so tell me the Soresi sauce. How did you find it?
I tried to put myself into your dad's shoes of what he could add to this to make it feel special. And I added butter and then sugar, because that's a natural one, and then just a little bit of the oldest oregano that you've ever seen. 6 years old, has no flavor left.
I can't believe that because that is what it is. Yeah. I was going to send Soresi sauce, and I asked my dad, and every time he sends me back something, I'm like, this is ChatGPT. You can't ask ChatGPT what Soresi sauce is if you made it up. He sends me back, suddenly the most concise answer this man has ever delivered in his entire life. No, this is fake. But he always talked about this rich Italian culture, and I'm pretty sure that's all it was just butter and sugar, because I'm tasting it now. And I'm like, wow, you nailed my legendary family's sauce. So my parents were divorced, and my dad didn't know how to cook. So it was either noodles and soup or just ravioli. And I think he leaned into ravioli because he wanted me to think I was 100% Italian. And this is what I ate every day.
Did you ever really impress him with how many you could swallow whole without chewing? Gianmarco, did you ever
You know that. I don't even know where you would have that information.
Because if I'm there, I'm imagining I'm seeing my tall, lanky baby boy, and he swallows one ravioli. I go, that's not that impressive. But once he gets up to 5, 6 ravioli swallowed whole, I'm like, this kid's really going for it.
I don't even know where I could have possibly have mentioned that. Dude, I thought it was impressive how many raviolis I could swallow. And I'm rusty. I used to do 6 as a kid. And I don't know what I was thinking. I had no enjoyment, just all the chemicals.
To me, there's an easy armchair therapist answer of like, God, you were trying to get this man's attention any way you knew how. And you had a mouth and there were raviolis in front of you to a captive audience.
I guess so. I guess so. When you don't have talents, you got to invent new ones, you know?
Sure.
You know, I'm not that Italian. I am a little Italian. He made me think I was 100% Italian, which is impossible because my mom's Jewish.
Which is also to say, made you think you were 0% Jewish.
Yes,
Which
like
part
an
was
immaculate
more-
birth from my father.
You ended up on a bit of a wild goose chase in Sicily looking for Italian relatives.
Well, I did like backpacking
Yeah.
after college, which I'm so glad I did. But my dad, so he said, whenever you get to Italy, you got to meet the Soresis. And then I got to Italy, and I called and I said, hey, I'm here. Where are they? And he's like, I can't track him down. He Googled, this was before ChatGPT, so he was just Googling. He said there's something called Soresi Villa. And I was like, but do we know them there? And he's like, I don't know. But during COVID, Niccolò Soresi reached out to me. So it is real. My great-grandpa Luigi Soresi was Italian. He was a promoter or like manager for a boxer. Unfortunately, the only picture I have of him is with Mussolini.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, yes. It's available.
The main Mussolini.
The main one. You know,
Wow.
some kind of, a dinner affair.
What year?
Before he did any of the bad stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And Niccolò Soresi reached out to me, and I think he's like my cousin, twice removed or whatever. But there was a Soresi pasta. There was a Soresi pasta. That's a real thing. It was in magazines. There's a Soresi street, and it's around Sicily. So it is real.
Yeah.
I don't know what percentage I am. And my dad only cares about the father side.
It feels like a very dad thing to do is to get very into their family heritage for seemingly undiagnosable reasons. Mm-hmm. Do you was that a later thing in life? Was that him trying to find grasp at some sort of roots that he could hold on to?
I think his father kind of abandoned the family. It was a tough family.
Yeah.
And so I think when you lack community, you look towards whatever culture has provided you. And there is this Italian, Hollywood-based culture that, I think my dad sees The Godfather and goes that's where I'm from. And he hated his father. I never met my dad's dad. He's like, okay, if I don't like this guy, can I go beyond it into some deeper sense of belonging?
Yeah.
And it's easier to deal with way back in the past with people you never met because you have no reason to hate them.
Sure.
Even if they did dinners with Mussolini.
Where does the yoo-hoo come from?
This was the jam back then. It's this is still I'm ooh, I remember.
Did you grow up with that kind of consciousness about food that was good or bad for you? I know you said that a lot of your early stand-up was about moobs.
Yeah,
We grew up in the prime time for moobage.
I was not overweight, but I was chubby, and I just had a lot in my pecs. And we would do so many pool parties. I mean, I don't know why they would do this to kids going through puberty. But I would get out of the pool, and I'd be so self-conscious, I'd wear my towel up here. And the guys would go, that's how women wear towels. And I remember this kid, his name was Blake Marriott, part of the Marriott fortune.
Oh.
And he went up to me, and he went, boobie, 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 like a boxer. But I never made the connection between food and my moves. I was so unathletic.
Sure.
I hated working out. I hated PE. I was self-conscious about my body, but I ate like garbage. I mean, just this.
Well, sure, yeah. It's yoo-hoo and raviolis. When you were younger, I mean, you grew up with so many different step-parents, parents divorced since you could remember. Did you feel a sense of powerlessness? And did you find a single moment where you're like, oh, this is how I can bring power and control into my life, despite being among relative chaos?
I think there was my dad's house, I had autonomy, probably too much.
Yeah.
And then my mom's house was this really strict place because my stepfather was very conservative. My mom went the opposite direction with her second husband. Maybe that'll work. there was this moment. It was my 14th or 15th birthday, and so we were at the beach at a beach house for the weekend. I couldn't reach my dad all day. I was having an anxiety attack. I thought like he had died. He's probably just cheating on someone. And he called me late, like 8 p.m. My mom and stepdad, we'd all played a board game. My mom everyone was drinking. It was getting ugly. My dad called we were going to get ice cream. My stepdad said, don't pick up that phone. And I was like, oh, can I stay behind? I don't need to get ice cream. I'd like to talk to my dad. And he said, get in the car, we're getting ice cream. First time anyone's ever said that as like a threat.
Yeah, really.
And we get in the car, my dad calls again, and then it goes to voicemail, leaves a beep, and my stepfather says, you can call him back, but I did not give you that phone to talk to that man. Now they listen.
How old are you at this point?
This is my birthday, so like I was just 14 or 15, something
what a
there.
bad age to say to that child.
And I'd never spoken up to this man. I mean, he was just very intimidating. I called my dad back, we talked for like a minute, and then we got to the ice cream place, he looked over and he went, and I hung up the phone. And I turned in my sister, it's her birthday too, in the back seat, 4 years younger. And I turned to my stepfather, I said, you're just mad because my dad f***ed your wife before you did. And he didn't applaud at all. I think he was shocked. And it was this moment where I really felt like I utilized my ability to like see the bullshit for what it was.
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't like a comedic thing, it felt very much to me like what comedy is, where it's just like I'm saying the thing on its face. Yeah. And he was shocked, and him and mom got a big fight. It wasn't a fun night, but I really felt like an adult. Like I felt like I finally said some of the things I was feeling about that relationship.
You're saying the obvious thing, but with that very specific detail, which I think is one of the beautiful things about your comedy. Like when, you talk a lot about your dad cheating and your mom and various stepmoms, but it's like the specificity of these insane situations that you're in when you're a kid, like seeing him give candy to the new woman to then hand to you as if you're a dog.
Yeah.
I have those exact same memories.
I had like a really, she's the mom of my half sister on my dad's side. I loved her. And I think it was just like after a number of women like just disappeared from my life because they would break up. Sure. And they would just vanish. That like, by the time my dad got another long relationship when I was like 13, 14, I mean, I was ice to her. I don't think I was mean per se, but I was just like, I'm not doing this charade anymore. You'll be gone by Christmas. There was one woman, she always came over, we played Monopoly. And I remember, I didn't know it at the time, but we went into the car. She said, hey, I got a promotion at work. I'm going to be too busy to come around much anymore. And I remember saying, can we still play Monopoly sometime? And she said, yeah, maybe. I never saw that woman
Single
again.
tear falls down her cheek, yes.
Never saw her again.
Man. In the spirit of all that, can I offer you a random Godiva chocolate?
Please.
We did eat some of them, and this is quite an old box. We figured that is the only way that people were eating Godiva chocolates.
It fits.
Yep.
So my dad, we get a Godiva, and that would be the dessert for lunch. He would put one Godiva in with the ravioli and the Yoo-hoo, 2 helpings of chocolate, and they'd get old. And in 4th grade, I took a bite of one. Like, oh, it's like little like white little like paste things here. And then it started moving. And I was like, oh my God, we had kept this Godiva for so long and it was so unkempt. There was like little baby maggots in the chocolate, but this one's good.
Gianmarco, for the second course of your final meal on Earth, we've entered the sushi and carrots course.
Wow.
Along with some hot sake as well. Can I pour you some hot sake?
Please. I went to Japan this year. I did an Asia tour, but we did 2 weeks in Japan to start because it's been my dream.
Hey,
cheers.
come by.
Come by. God, I love sake.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Warms you up.
Japan's amazing.
I've never been. I'd really like to go.
Gotta go.
Oh,
You
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Everyone's doing it now. It is the
is
thing.
doing
Someone
it.
told me that like India was for a while was like the eat, pray, love thing, and now it's Japan.
You were introduced to sushi at a relatively young age by your mom, but also I want to focus on a different part of the story. If you notice the flag that is here, tell me about the Filipino nanny community of Potomac, Maryland. We have some lumpia here if you'd like to partake.
My babysitters growing up on my mom's side, maternal babysitter and paternal babysitter, you know.
Sure.
And Filipino, and lived in our house for a while as well with her daughter, and we ate for a white boy in Potomac, Maryland. We ate so much rice and egg rolls, and I think it just informed my love of Asian cuisine. And I always think of like my main carb thing that I would do, it's rice. And it's because of her.
I love that. Dig in.
Thank you.
Ang sarap, as they say in Tagalog.
My mom liked sushi when it was still like sushi. I don't eat raw. I like my fish cooked.
That was definitely a big moment. Come by.
Come by.
Are you supposed to shoot every time, or you're just sipping it?
I'm just matching you. I don't think
I've been
so
trying to
at
match
all.
you. We're doing it at the same time.
Yeah, I think you sip it gradually and peacefully.
Okay, so we have an assorted sushi platter here. We have some ahi tuna. We have a little bit of yellowtail brushed with soy and a little bit of serrano pepper. We have like a spicy salmon gunkan maki.
Amazing.
With a little bit of salmon roe on top. Then we have a little tuna cut roll and then a nice little yellowtail crunchy roll right here.
Incredible.
Oh, and then some whitefish with caviar.
I love it all.
Hell yeah, man.
I'll eat anything. Yeah, I'm so thankful. My mom gave me a really good, diverse diet, so I wasn't picky growing up.
Yeah.
And I really am grateful for that. Is there anything you won't eat?
Nothing, not a single thing. I want to take me all the way to the edge of the earth.
I had
Let me live there for a while.
a baby sparrow in Japan.
Whoa.
It's a place called Circus and Rice, or Rice and Circus and Rice, where the goal is clearly like pushing you. You could get a snake. They had a whole penis menu. Every animal's penis.
Most dangerous penis of all. Man.
I don't think that was there.
Okay, fair. Your mom is Jewish, but more culturally Jewish, not actually practicing the religion.
She did. We did Passover. We went to temple a couple of times. She made a great challah. But it's really my girlfriend now that's connected me more to my Judaism than my mom did.
She grew up in a Hasidic community, yeah?
And she was in a Chabad community in New Orleans. A terrible place for the garbs. I mean, it's so hot.
So it's just wet
They
the whole
really
time.
believe in God. They really do.
I think they probably really do, which is an interesting sort of dichotomy. I feel like I'm somebody who is almost plagued by skepticism, but I'm dying to believe.
I hear same here, brother.
Hey, where do we fall? What happens? Where do we go? There's got to be something.
Drugs.
Drugs?
Yeah.
Been there, get a little scared sometimes. A lot of psychosis runs in my family.
I don't know if it's about God. I don't know. There's a thing with a lot
I don't
of
think
Jews.
it's ever actually about God, though. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
all about having something to do on not a Sunday, a Saturday, or Friday. You know what I mean?
But as you get older, you go, oh, no phones Friday, sundown to Saturday. You go, oh, maybe we do need that.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I go, yeah, I have trouble with the origin of all these traditions, but dear God, my
older
life's
you
no
get,
better.
The more okay with conservatism. You must be the first person that's ever happened to.
You don't look at the you go, oh my God, if on Friday, if I had to go away for a whole 24-hour cycle and no one worked. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't work, it's that we all agree
Correct.
no one's getting ahead in the race right now, and we're all going to chill. That's what I like about it.
You gonna bring it back?
Bring back more Jews in showbiz?
Yeah,
I'm working
We've
on
lost
it.
control of that, please, for the love of God. And change your name. Oh my God, that is terrible. You had an agent try and get you to change your name to something more Jewish at some point.
Early manager said, we're going to get you a meeting at ABC. This meeting never materialized, by the way. They're going to hear your name, they're going to expect Gianmarco Soresi to walk in, and Gianmarco Soresi is going to walk in. I was like, please, I don't like this. I said, no, I would never have changed my name. I was like 23 when they brought this up. I was like, it's a crazy rebrand at this age. Well, my dad, again, this is my dad's bullshit. He told me it was Gianmarco. That's just because he liked to say it that way. And then in Italian, they go, no, it's Gianmarco. And I go, well, me. I'm 16. I didn't know how to say my name this whole time.
Yeah, your dad sort of accidentally backed out of Italian in an effort to be more Italian.
My mom's original last name was Rothkrug, which is no better. I mean, there's many families who still have that. It's a hideous name.
There's sometimes where I want to believe in cultural relativism. Like I don't know if French is actually the most beautiful language or if we've just seen a couple of romantic depictions of French films.
Sure.
I think Yiddish is the least. It's got to be the least romantic language, though, right? There's a real lack of aesthetic beauty in it.
But there's so much comedic schlep.
There's a lot of
schmuck.
Yeah.
There is that side of it.
Shtick of it all.
See, my mom was culturally Jewish, but I really do believe, like, as I got into comedy and I complained and I was negative, I was like, I do think this comes from Jewishness. And it's always hard to tell in your life what things you're just, like, globbing yourself onto a culture that exists. But I was like, there's something about the negativity. I once called my mom, and I swear the first thing she said, you know, I don't think I've ever felt joy. And I said, well, happy Mother's Day, nonetheless. And I do think, like, that is a thread where I would find myself talking to people who were raised more Jewish, and there was just a degree of, they never said to me, hey, look on the bright side.
No.
And I go, oh, well, that's part of it.
I grew up in a big evangelical Christian area in southern Orange County, and they all had this loving, paternal God that they could look to. And I had a very Christian girlfriend that had mean, drunk parents. And she was like, when I think of Jesus up there loving me unconditionally, I feel hope for the first time. My only exposure to God was he's tremendously mean and he doesn't exist.
See, I got a slightly more optimistic version. I asked my mom during my existential crisis, what do you think happens when you die? And she said, there's got to be something better than this shit. In a way, that's hopeful.
What's the deal with the carrots, man?
I love carrots. My dad, we had a little garden, and we grew, like, we're talking carrots like this tall. And I would chew on the stems. I like chewing on the stems. And then
You sound like a Dust Bowl farmer's kid. You know?
It was like gum. It was like early gum. And then when I got to college, I think I've always had oral fixations,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Used to, never was a thumb sucker, was a shirt sucker, disgusting. Ring of spit.
It's nuts.
Necklace sucker, not pens. I've swallowed the back of so many pens. So then later you go, well, this is not socially acceptable, but baby carrots are. So that became an oral fixation where I would just eat so many baby carrots. And from the garden, and then I like the juice, and it's just something I love. It's a healthy snack.
It is.
Well, I don't know why we don't have more healthy snacks in this country. It drives me nuts.
Subsidies.
But baby carrots are exactly. But baby carrots, where's big baby carrot? That should be a thing.
I actually kind of agree with you. I think we need to fight fire with fire. There's a point where the Dole Corporation started using predatory marketing tactics, using cartoon characters, but on carrots to get kids to buy carrots, and I was like, I'm all for it.
So I used to eat a bag a day. Well, get this. My mom told me when I was younger, she was worried about me because my skin was turning a little bit orange. And it's because she was feeding me so much creamed carrots. And they say that babies, their pigmentation is susceptible at that age. Yep. So it's because of that. So I'm convinced there's something deep. When my girlfriend and we met during COVID, and she was a manager, and I was a comedian. It was a crazy time. I don't know if you remember. And like we hooked up, and then the next day I went over there to like be like, we shouldn't do this. And she had bought me a bag of baby carrots, and I abandoned the plan.
So if I can just run this back. So your girlfriend that you met during a very traumatic time, you went to break up with her, cut things off, but then she fed you the food that your mother used to feed you to show you her love. And you said, maybe that's what romantic love is? Is the same thing that my mother gave me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Another Jew, Freud, would be thrilled with this.
Cheers.
To Sigmund Freud.
To Sigmund Freud.
You had a couple good points.
You ready to go on to course number 3?
Yeah, but let's cup this up.
Gianmarco, for the third course of your final meal on Earth, we have spicy ramen with extra cilantro.
Oh.
Ice cold green tea, McDonald's, and then a fountain Diet Coke. Where should we begin? So this is the spicy pork ramen. We actually got this from Daikokuya, which I think is probably the best ramen in Los Angeles.
Incredible.
And then we cooked the noodles fresh, and then we added our own extra cilantro garnish.
Thank you.
Which I imagine you're celebrating because you're away from your beloved.
Yes. Well, for two reasons. Because you said pork broth as well, right?
Yes.
So this would be a no-go meal for my partner because she grew up kosher, so no pork, and she has the cilantro gene. One time we're at a restaurant and some food comes out. Is there cilantro? I don't like cilantro. That's what she says, and I'm like, that's not severe enough. They bring out the food. She takes a bite. Immediately, there's cilantro. So the guy comes out. She goes, "There's cilantro," and he goes, "No, there's not." And she goes, "There is." And he looks at me.
Nope.
He looks at me. I'm like, brother, that's what the tip is for.
You think it hurt, baby?
And so this guy is perplexed. He doesn't know what to do. And then he left. And then a woman came out, a different waiter, and she said, and I thought this was just kudos to women. She said, "I'm so sorry you tasted cilantro." And I was like, you didn't say she was right, but you acknowledged the feeling. And then at the end of the meal, the guy comes out and goes, "The chef said that in the marinade for the fish before the whole thing, there was cilantro." And that is a good meal with my girlfriend. There's some cuisines she cannot have, and we waited in Japan for this, like the ramen place. An hour and a half we waited. We go in, it's only pork broth, they only have cilantro, and I'm not gonna not eat. So we parted ways for the night. And we just went to halal ramen places after that. Thank God for the halal.
Thank Muslim God.
Thank
Allah
Muslim
for
God.
that
Yes,
one.
yes. Jews and Muslims, they should come together and do what they do best, ruining dinner for everybody.
One would think with all the similarities, you know?
Yeah, but I ate cup of noodles so much as a kid, and I grew up on anime and manga, so all I wanted to do was to go to Japan and eat noodles, like slurping into my mouth.
Yeah.
And I love it.
On your anniversary, you posted a really sweet message to Tova saying that she was the person that got you to learn how to live, which is a hell of a statement to make, especially about someone that you're vitriolically complaining about. What did you mean by that?
I just think I'm such a workaholic by nature. I mean, I get it from my father. I think, like, truly the things that she took from her Jewish upbringing were, like I said, about, like, taking that time and community. Didn't have married parents, didn't have religion, didn't have a lot of friends, didn't have sports. So there was just like, I just worked and worked and worked. And she kind of demanded in a way that, a stubborn Jewish woman could, to really demand, like, you got to take some time. And in a way that's the only way that it goes through to me. I used to do stand-up every night. And I think she's the arbiter of, like, just making space. And so I'm very grateful for that because I can be so neurotic and I can be so repetitive about it that it takes someone who's really, and another Jewish person, of just like the anxiety, the constant, the to really go like, no, we're going to do this. And now we did a Passover meal. We had our first Shabbat meal. And it's those moments that I go like, my father, he works every second of the day. And he's told me, preemptively, I'm never going to go home. I'm going to die at work or whatever. And I'm like, great. But I also think it's because I think the people he dated or married were not necessarily the kind of strong will that were willing to stand up to his very, very powerful ego. And one of the things I love about my girlfriend is she has a formidable sense of self and identity and need. It leads to a lot of bickering, a lot of arguing between the two of us. But like, I look at specifically the men who don't seek out a strong partner and how they crumble as they get older under the weight of their own ego and their own lack of learning other perspectives. So I'm, sometimes does it make dinner a little stressful? Sure. But I think it's worth it at the end of the day.
I think it's worth it. Thinking of this Big Mac.
Oh, McDonald's fries. They got their hold on me.
Do you remember the first time you ate a Big Mac and did it feel a bit like your own version of a bar mitzvah?
I don't know if I thought bar mitzvah. When do you remember your first?
Yeah, it felt like a coming of age. It was like, my dad was like, we have enough disposable income now to where you don't have to order off the dollar menu.
That's so good.
Is this a tour meal for you? If you're on tour?
No.
No?
I've had McDonald's once every 2 years. So this is the last one until until the last meal. I don't know if I have kids, I'm gonna have to read books about how to deal with food stuff. Because in my mind, I'm like, never McDonald's. This is, you shouldn't even, especially in your formative years,
Yeah.
I don't want you to have this nostalgic attachment to this poison.
Of course. Do you think that you're going to have the ability to slow down your career, which I bet necessarily you would have to, especially in terms of touring, to be able to, say, have that type of family life? And does that scare you? Like, the energy
scares
that
the
you...
shit out of me. It scares the shit out of me to slow down touring. I know Jim Gaffigan. I messaged him and I was like, I was really looking for a father-son moment. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about having a kid. Just curious, like what it's like to like have a real touring life with a kid. He just wrote back, well, you should have a kid. Good luck. And I was like, oh, I was hoping for this father-son thing. And then I was like,
sure,
he's got 6 kids.
Yeah,
he doesn't need this right now.
Yeah.
But one of his sons opens for him on the road. I feel like we're kind of anti-family businesses in some way, but there's a part of me that goes, if I raise a videographer, oh, the world is my oyster. What a heaven.
That was the history of all human society, was like, God, if only I had somebody to hoe these fields. Oh, I should have 3 kids because 2 of them are going to die, but one of them can pick up that hoe and really go to town.
One kid learns how to make stools,
you know?
And then the least favorite, they're just like the assistant, you know?
Yeah, put an iPad in their hand early, have them go to town.
I'm really nervous about it. I love traveling, but it is exhausting too. So I don't know. I do think because I also think the divorce going back and forth my whole life, there is just sometimes sense of like wanting a different world. Like I'm at this place and then I'm at this where my whole world is different, or I'm on the road, I'm alone.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a good reset. I think the fear that I'm sure Tova has too is that like, if I ever wasn't on the road for a long time, are we gonna go, oh my God, we like going in and out a little bit.
Sure.
You know, that's a dynamic too.
Yeah.
I would want a kid that I'd bring with me on the road for some stuff. I want a kid who's well-traveled. I wasn't a well-traveled kid. I think that would be cool. I didn't go to Asia until I was 37. I want a kid who's going to Asia when they're 2 weeks old, because I gotta go back to Taiwan. I gotta get that soy milk bowl for breakfast.
That does sound good with the youtiao, the donut in it. Oh, come on. Gianmarco, for the final course of your final meal on Earth, we have a simple dessert of big-ass brownie, assorted fruit plate,
God damn.
plain snow cone with a squeezed bottle of condensed milk on the side. I can run you through most of the fruits here.
Please do.
So we have some fresh pomegranate, we have some longan, it's a cousin to the lychee, we have some fresh donut peaches, we have kiwano melon. So these are strawberries, but they're Harry's berries, they're the best strawberries in the world, grown in Oxnard, California. We have some big moon grapes. We have, this is called a cotton candy mango. This is an Alphonse mango.
Cotton candy mango?
Try that. Is that the cotton candy? It's cotton candy mango. Losing track here. Oh, this is really cool. It's called a melon apple. And then we got some classic pineapple and yellow watermelon. Fresh mangosteen here.
Did you know the thing about this?
No.
So the number of petals reflects the number of pods in the thing.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've never mangosteen before, which is crazy.
I was in Indonesia. This is where I got my first in Jakarta. And they're so sweet. And I just love fruit. And I think about all these fruits that we don't get in America. Mm-hmm. And you got them here today. So I'm thrilled. Mango, that's amazing.
What, do you have any like formative fruit experiences in your life, or you just enjoy nature's bounty?
And I just think we need more fruit as a society, as snacks, as gifts. Enough. A cookie, candy. That's every gift. Cotton candy mango. That's a gift.
Because it is special. This is God. Gianmarco, this is God. For all of human history, we called this the work of God until now. And we go, oh, maybe it's the universe. Maybe the signs we're getting from the universe is God.
I think the Big Mac is first and foremost God.
I don't know that that's God.
These are all of his angels.
I want to go back to your idea of skepticism and sort of calling bullshit on people with otherwise great beliefs. How much do you know about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in the medium J. Barr?
Oh, I know so much about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross because these were the kind of people that I looked up to for a hot second. But Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she came up with the 7 stages of grief, which are almost accepted as fact, even though like all these early psychological concepts, it's just kind of a loose.
Yeah, she wrote On Death and Dying in the 60s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you looked up that she later in her life, fully supported a known psychic medium, complete scam. This guy, he had like a commune, a cult or whatever with all these widows. It was all mostly women. And he'd bring back their husbands to then have sex with them one last time. Yeah. And so what he'd do, or one of the tactics of it is, you put on this translucent cheesecloth is what these psychics will use, because you can really like smush it down and put it in your mouth, in your ear, your asshole, and you turn off all the lights, make some noises. Yeah. He would put it over, and clearly these are people who want to be tricked to a certain degree. But they mistook him covered in cheesecloths for their husbands, had sex with him, and then he wasn't busted until, I believe, crabs spread around the camp. And they said, wow, these ghost crabs are a real scourge. And so this woman, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, even after the scam was exposed, still said, no, he's the real deal.
There was a moment when she had a friend who drove up with her 20s, they called them darkroom sessions, and was like, we're both people of science. I'm going to very clearly expose this to her via the easiest methodology, which is, while the lights were off and he was coming in with the Ooga Booga sexy ghost, she flipped the lights on. Rather than Elizabeth Kubler-Ross going, oh my God, it's just Jay, it's just the guy, she went, when you flip the lights on, you killed the spirit that inhabited him, you're a murderer. And that freaks me the hell out. Who do we trust? Do we only have ourselves? Are we alone, Gianmarco?
I think so. This makes us terrible at parties. It really bums people out to hear this kind of stuff. We are the ghost killers. She wasn't wrong. In a way, she might have been being like, you ruined this, you killed it for me.
Sure.
You killed it for me. I think she should have added an 8th stage of like the ghost and getting crabs. That would have been nice to know.
Yeah, acceptance of ghost crabs.
You ever heard the term fideist? I believe in God because it feels good to do so. And this was a mathematician, Martin Gardner, I think his name was. He was like a big skeptic, but he was still Catholic or whatever. And he basically said, like, I believe in God because it feels good to do so. And when I was younger, I was like, that's a cop-out. You're saying you don't believe in God. Yeah. And I'm not a full atheist. I've always liked panpsychism. Do you know panpsychism? The idea that consciousness is an inherent element of like all things. Because I do think it emerging out of dead matter is also hard to fully believe. Yeah. That's the only thing I hold on to. But no, we are alone. We are alone, and no one wants to hear this kind of talk. And at the end of the day, if I'm on my deathbed and I go like, oh, I see, there's Elizabeth, and she's getting railed. And she's like, come, join us. There's tinctures for ghost crabs in heaven. And if I say that, I don't want you there being like, nah.
No.
Let me turn on the lights. I'm gonna say no. Let me go.
And I promise you I would never do that to you.
My good friend Russell, he had a friend who worked at like a retirement community. And you know how there's sometimes a comfort when like an old person, there's like a video, old person blowing out her 100 candles on the cake and going, I hope this is my last birthday. And there's a comfort to it because you go, oh, well maybe someday I'll be fine with dying.
That's the goal, yeah.
Maybe someday. And this woman told my friend who works at the retirement community, she said, trust me, at the end, none of them are ready to go.
Do you believe that?
It sounds pretty horrifying, so yeah, it does feel like it reflects my understanding of the world.
Oh, isn't that wonderful the way we accept information?
I think all you can hope for is that by the end, you're drugged up enough that you can believe in ghosts.
Amen, man. There's ice melting here. What's the deal with the plain snow cone?
So when I was younger, the snow cone, flavor was too strong. And so I would always get a plain snow cone. I went to a summer camp, and this guy knew me. He gave it to me for free. He'd sometimes put like a Swedish fish in it, but I like it plain. I like the texture. I've bought 4 different snow cone making machines. They break really fast. I love eating snow. You can't do that much in New York, but this is the closest you can get. And then, if you are feeling a little indulgent, some condensed milk. Nothing better than condensed milk in this world.
When you were going through all of those death anxiety phases, was there anything that ever actually made you feel better? Any mantra that when you lay your head down at night, you think about?
I wish, brother. If I could go back to my younger self dealing with this, like, I mean, at the point where I'd be on my computer just hours every day, just like looking up things. I go, buddy, here's a solution. When you're thinking about death, do this. don't think about it, 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 don't think about it. And I don't know if I would have been able to take the lesson. It's a lesson I learned when I get stoned, because sometimes your mind will go there. And I learned in that moment, I was like, there's no choice. There's no answer on that other side that's comforting. Yeah. You just got to pivot. And so I do think that's part of it.
What I actually believe is we are all stuck on this rock inexplicably due to a miracle that should have never happened, but ultimately had to happen, and we need a way to simply pass the time and find some sort of meaning before we die. And so we crossbreed new fruits. We try and make a strawberry that's red all the way through. And it was a guy who said, I'm gonna make this red, and he spent decades trying to make this red, and then he did it, and he got to die more fulfilled than if he hadn't. You know, and you're doing that one crowd work clip at a time.
Yeah.
Inching towards fulfillment till one day you get to die and then see on the other side whether there's a God or not. It's all the same.
That's why I do the crowd work. I'm hoping at the end one day I go, it's enough. It's enough. And then I kill myself on stage.
So the brownie.
So my mom instilled in me, like, oh, if you get 100% on the spelling test, you get like 2 desserts. And listen, God bless. I don't know how you teach kids how to do things, but it created a real reward dynamic system for food in my head. And I did really well in spelling. I don't feel very proud to be an American these days, but I've had desserts pretty much all over the world at this point. And I got to say, a chocolate chip cookie and a brownie and milk, that's where I feel like, now we did it. So, I don't like cake. Too sweet, cream's too much.
Sure.
I like density to my dessert.
Yeah. Gianmarco, if there's a gun to your head, someone says, what happens when you die? You got to give an answer. What do you think it is?
Whatever. If should there be anything, you will not know it. There will be no version of you. As Epicurus said, when I am, death is not. When death is, I am not. I believe consciousness is not an emergent phenomena. I think there's something so inherent to the fact that the only way we know anything is because we ourselves are conscious, so you can't separate these two things. Yeah. I don't believe in necessarily a nothingness. And I think it can be comforting in one sense, but it's also terrifying. You
have a tremendously comforted posture right now that you've adopted.
Like, in a way, it's like, you maybe, again, it's not you don't become a stream, but you're part of things. And honestly, it's better that way, because, reincarnation isn't comforting. You could be reincarnated as some human with a great life, or you could be reincarnated as the cow we just ate in the hamburger. My poor kid, when they come to me, because I don't want to lie to them. I don't want to do it like my parents did and like present a thing. But I'll be like, I think there's something.
I feel better already. You ready to get in the lightning round?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Who's the one person, dead or alive, you'd want to share your actual last meal with?
I think it would be really interesting to meet my grandfather on my dad's side, just to see. I don't know if it would be a great meal. I think maybe it could be the one thing that could get me to forgive my father.
If you had a line in Wolf of Wall Street, what would you have said?
Ooh, I would have said, let me do a line too, because there was a lot of cocaine doing, and not in the scene I was in. There was all these guys, like 200 guys, and we're goofing around. Someone put a sign on someone's back that said, I have herpes. No one was watching us. Just 200, the saddest actors in the entire world, watching their dreams happen 100 feet away from them. And at some point, they called cut. First director, second director, third director, fourth director said, guys, Martin Scorsese said someone walked by the screen and said, I have herpes on their back. You can't do this. And then we all got disciplined. So I would say, let me do a bump.
Who's your dream eulogizer at your funeral?
Oh, Tova. Tova's phenomenal. Tova surprised me once, where Caleb Huron actually was doing a spot on my show, and then he brought her up, and she did a killer 5-minute set.
She had a great bit about how it's different when you complain about her cilantro allergy on set versus when she tells her 2 friends that you don't make her come. And it's a really great bit. It's a great
bit. She's got her own complicated feelings with her religious upbringing, and it gave a lot of beautiful traditions, but at the same time, it limited her from a lot of all the artistic ventures I got to pursue wholeheartedly. You see pockets like that 1 5-minute set, and you're like, oh yeah, 100%. 100%. You could have been
felt like she was a professional.
Yeah, she is.
What's a role on Broadway that you could crush right now?
Marvin and falsettos. It's not on Broadway right this second. Is that okay? I don't care.
What's your biggest fear?
Mediocrity. I think about Salieri and Amadeus often, and I go, I've inserted myself amongst Mozart's, and have made myself necessary, but at the end of the day, I'm mediocre. So that's the fear.
What's a moral quandary you'd like to see on Hidden Camera Show? What would you do?
The one I think I even tried to pitch to them. One of my openers on the road, his name's Liam Nelson, and he's 7 feet tall. He has Mar fans. And when you're with him, you see how many people. How tall are you? Yeah. Guys go, and then you have to go, yes. Oh, just didn't expect a guy that tall. One guy said, I know what your favorite 4-letter word is, D-U-C-K. And you go, God.
How old is that? 110-year-old man?
It was a cigar bar. Yeah, he was old. He died right after, and
Good.
Yeah, good. We said good. We said D-E-A-D. And I really want something about, like, when would someone step in because they saw so many people, like, bothering him. Because it's so much. Yeah. So that's the what would you do is, like, what would you do if you saw a tall man getting annoyed? I can see why they didn't take
haven't done it yet. Finally, Gianmarco, are you happy?
Yeah. I'm tired and my body hurts. I feel overstretched, but I am happy.
Yeah. I'm very happy that we got to share this meal together, despite the tiredness and the overstretchedness. This is, like, truly a joy. I've been a fan for such a long time, and I really appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.
If you want to deliver your last words to that camera right there.
One more thing.
Gianmarco Soresi, everybody, you can catch him on tour. What city is he going to? You going to be in Tulsa?
I'm everywhere. Just find me online and listen to my podcast, The Downside. But I'm traveling all over. I'm going to Europe. I'll be back in Asia. I just love to talk.
The perfect way to elevate all of your meals. The Last Meals Bar Set is available now at mythical.com.